dis nie so maklik om daarby uit te kom nie. So ek dink dit gaan nie so besig wees as 'n mens so in te gaan nie.
Maar
Maybe.
wel wettiglik.
Yes, for free. I'm not going to be hijacking and using incorrect security details to get to Malta for free.
Ek dink Thys vra of hy nie kan inkom op 'n vlug onder 'n skuilnaam of iets. Dink julle hy
Dis 'n bietjie van 'n uitdaging.
Onthou, julle kan ons gaan volg op sosiale media. Ons baba video is daar oral. Dit het gister vlamme gevat
Beslis.
op ons Instagram en ons Facebook ook. Bly ingeskakel. Ons is net hierna terug met Russell Grant van The Bioscope om te praat oor onafhanklike cinema.
Goeiemôre, good morning. Jy kyk nog heerlik saam met ons na ons 3 oggendpraatjies en al daai lekkertes waaroor ons gesels. Ek wil daarom net sê, vanmôre was my 'n vars oggend. Gisteroggend het ek bietjie gevoel of 'n trein my getrap het, maar ek weet nie, môre voel ek net reg vir die dinge. En julle dames, julle lyk speakeries.
Ons is nou oor die bult, nee, dis is nou Woensdag. So I think that's why you're feeling that way. But good, Peter.
Ja, ons is bly om dit te hoor.
Ja, dit klink good, Peter. Good man. Thank you, Ross. Thank you so much for that. Maar kan ons maar ons oggendpraatjies voortsit asseblief. Elsa, jy het 'n lekker storie.
Kom ons gaan dadelik voort. Rosanne, is jy 'n handsakmeisie?
Ek is, maar van ver af. Daar is handsakke wat ek regtig van hou, maar ek weet ek nooit sal kan bekostig nie. So I can appreciate the aesthetic value of a really good handbag, but most of them I can't afford.
Klink
En
interessant.
Pieter, hou Lotie van 'n mooi handsak?
Ek amper nou warm hartklopings begin kry, ek van 'n handsak. Ek dink enige vrou hou van 'n mooi handsak. Ja, ek moet daarom net vinnig vir julle staaltjie sê. Ek was so 'n paar jaar terug in Thailand gewees en toe sê sy vir my, bring net asseblief my handsak saam. En dit was saam met die ander televisieprogram vir wie ek gewerk het. En op 'n stadium sê ek, maar daar was nie handsakke nie, my vrou. In die opening link van die storie wat ek doen, staan ek voor 'n winkel met my.
Ai,
Sê, okay, ek moet nog steeds opmaak vir daai enetjie.
jy sien daar's voordele en daar's nadele van hierdie werk. Nou ja,
Kan jy help?
ek het gedink ons kan jou help vandag om vir Lotie 'n bietjie te bederf en 'n mooi handsak uit te kies. So, die eerste opsie is heel interessant. Met vlerke, straal-enjins, kajuit en 'n romp, lyk hierdie handsak soos 'n miniatuurvliegtuig wat uit 'n kind se speelgoedkas kom. Maar dit is nie speelgoed nie, dis 'n handsak. Die sogenaamde airplane bag is ontwerp deur die oorlede Virgil Abloh vir Louis Vuitton se herfs-winter 2021 versameling. Dis 'n mengsel van hoë mode en waansin en beslis nie vir subtiele smake nie.
Okay, daai foto wat ons nou gesien het. Hoë mode, waar is die hoë mode?
Ja, ek dink die interessante een, julle wonder seker wat die prys is,
Seker,
nê?
nie te duur nie.
So $39,000. Dis ongeveer R721,500. Ek wil amper sê listen properly, nê? Amper die prys van 'n tweedehandse vliegtuig. As dit nie haar smaak is wat van hierdie melkkarton handsak deur Chanel.
Nee?
Ja, kyk gou-gou.
Ag nee. Is dit 'n handsak?
Melkkarton handsak. Dis 'n handsak.
Dink ek is die aantrekkingskrag van hierdie tipe goed. It's the novelty value of it. Like there is some kind of attachment to the creativity that goes into, oh, I have a handbag that looks like an airplane. Louis Vuitton also has a boat handbag. It's completely impractical, maar mense love dit, omdat hulle kan sê, ek besit dit. Veral die Virgil Abloh one, want hy is nou nie meer met ons nie, so dit is 'n collector's item, ja.
Ja, verseker. Nou, hierdie handsak wat ons nou gesien het, lyk presies soos 'n oudtydse melkkarton met 'n glinsterende silwerketting. Vir die van julle wat dit dalk nou nie herken het nie.
'n kartonnetjie met 'n kettingkie vir julle môre bring.
Ja? Goed, nou ja, so ek dink ons moet nou na die prys te beweeg, nê? So dit is $10,000 plus minus R185,000.
Ek
Dit
wil
is
ook
verskriklik.
dink, is it soos cardboard or is it made out of leather that looks like cardboard?
Ja.
But anyway, do you have another one
Ons
for us?
beweeg aan. As sy van die kostema hou, wat van 'n worsbroodjie handsak deur Judith Lieber, 'n volledig versierde worsbroodjie met kristalle wat tomatiesous en mosterd voorstel.
Ek dink net daar. Dit lyk heerlik.
Hierdie een is dalk 'n
Ek
bietjie
bedoel
meer.
pragtig.
Hierdie een is dalk 'n bietjie meer bekostigbaar. $5,800 of
Okay.
so plus minus R107,300. So ja, ek weet wat jy dink, is nie prakties genoeg nie. Ons moet dan aanbeweeg na die Balenciaga se Phyllis handsak vir slegs. Ons gaan nou by die prys uitkom. Kom ons kyk net eers hoe dit lyk.
Is dit 'n Phyllis handsak of
Dis
is dit
'n
'n Phyllis
Phyllis
sak?
handsak, Pieter.
Okay, maar hom kan ek bekostig, ek is seker daarvan.
Nie
Wel,
die Balenciaga weergawe nie. Hoeveel kos dit, Elsa?
$1,790 plus minus
Ek
$33,100.
kan dit ook nie bekostig nie, maar
Ons
baie
weet jy
dankie.
kan. Jy ook nou.
Ek wil net vir julle sê, ek het vir julle geskenk gebring. Hierdie is my
Moes nie.
Balenciaga geskenk aan julle, Elsa.
Baie dankie.
Hier is my Oprah moment vanoggend. Pieter, hier is vir jou en ek hou my Balenciagas
dankie.
vir myself. Baie dankie, Elsa. Ag Pieter, dit lyk speakerish, man.
Ek kort
Sal
net
ons omdra, so.
silwerketting.
So, presies,
Kyk
net
nou
so.
net, daar,
Ek is mal daaroor. Mal daaroor. Ja. Hoekom
is baie interessant,
$1,790 spandeer wanneer jy so R100 kan spandeer?
En ek moet sê
op
ek
hierdie.
verkies weer die kleur eerder as daai
Dit pas
blou.
by alles, hoor. Dit is
Ja.
regtig baie meer veelsidig, baie meer gebruike daarvoor. So
En 'n mens kan hom opvou.
jy kan.
Ja.
So jy kan hom in 'n ander sak sit terwyl jy hom dra.
Jy kry 'n handsak, Dankie Ross, baie dankie.
Plesier, Pieter.
Nou ja. Van hierdie handsak na 'n volgende geskenk. Ons dink dis tyd vir 'n nuwe verjaarsdagliedjie om Afrikaans se 100ste verjaarsdag te vier. Of wat dink jy? Skryf jou voorstelle vir 'n nuwe verjaarsdagliedjie sommer nou in. Besoek verseker.co.za /ons verjaar of besoek Verseker se sosiale media blaaie en vind uit hoe. Daar's lekker pryse om te wen. Trots gebring aan jou deur die versekeringsnaam met die beste diens in versekering. Verseker. Verseker is 'n produk van ING, 'n gelisensieerde, nie-winsgewende versekeraar en FDV. Besenfees aanlyn. Orange Index kategorie wenner 2024 en 2025. Bly ingeskakel want net hierna vier ons 15 jaar van onafhanklike cinema saam met The Bioscope. En hierdie enetjie wil ek nie mis nie. Dalk kan ek my handsak vol springmielies maak. Popcorn.
When it comes to scooters, mobilities, hoverboards, and kids' electrical ride-on cars, I proudly endorse iGlide, a company which is truly on top of their game. With a vast array of quality products, a fully equipped repair center, warranty and after-sales service guaranteed, iGlide is the #1 choice. Contact them today at iglide.co.za.
Op deur Suid-Afrika, Sleepover Motels is reg waar jy ons nodig het. Van Johannesburg tot Limpopo en selfs langs die Mpumalanga internasionale lughawe. Ons bied bekostigbare gerieflike kamers met gratis Wi-Fi, veilige parkering en alles wat jy nodig het vir 'n sorgvrye oornagstop. Slaap rustig en reis slim. Sleepover, jou tuiste langs die pad.
Hallo my skat, ek dink ek kom kyk hoe lyk 'n nuwe plek.
Ai, ou mens sit so lank. Ek maak gou vir ons tee.
Waar?
By Lottersbaan glo ons dat almal verdien om tuis in hul huis te voel. Met 15 winkels landwyd bied ons 'n wye verskeidenheid kwaliteit dennehout meubels. En ons reeks rouhout meubels laat jou toe om jou eie stempel af te druk.
Die tee is reg, liewe
Denne.
Lottersbaan, ons is denners goed. Met meer as 100 takke landwyd bied P&A alles wat jy nodig het om jou kreatiwiteit uit te leef. Van potlode, verwe, kunstenaarskwaste, palette, paletmesse en selfskilderdoeke. So wanneer die inspirasie jou lei, bied ons kwaliteitprodukte teen 'n bekostigbare prys om 'n meesterstuk te verseker. P&A kleur jou wêreld.
Welcome back. You're watching Goeiemôre. Good morning. The Bioscope is an independent cinema based at 44 Stanley in Joburg, and it's a cultural landmark for film enthusiasts. This year, they are celebrating 15 years of being a trailblazer in South Africa's creative scene. And here to tell us more, we are joined by one of the owners, Russell Grant. Russell, welcome to Goeiemôre. Good morning. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Like any kind of superhero film, the Bioscope has its own origin story, and it has something to do with the lecture room in Wits.
Yeah, I started it with a friend that was at film school with me, and he wrote his thesis on whether or not there was space for something like this to exist. And I was his friend that just thought this was an amazing idea, and we put it into practice.
That's incredible. And 15 years later, here you are. Did you think that the longevity of the Bioscope would be where it is today?
I really hoped it would be. From the beginning, I wanted to create something that could live for as long as it possibly could. So it was always the intention, and I'm so chuffed that we've gotten this far.
I've actually got my own Bioscope story. I've been there a few times to watch films and things. But about 2 years ago, I was in a short film directed by John Hall called Awake.
Yeah.
And we had our premiere there, and it was such a special place to see the film for the first time. It's just got a very unique kind of feel to it that you don't get from going into a commercial cinema.
Yeah, I think right from the moment you step in, you see a gift shop that's cinema themed, and that sort of thing doesn't really exist almost anywhere in the world. The cafe is not just popcorn and cokes, it's pizza and cocktails and hot drinks and wine, and of course you can hear the maybe the movie soundtrack, and we try and get you at all points to sort of just feel the energy of the space.
It really is an immersive experience, but it's not overwhelming because it is still so intimate.
Yeah, boutique.
Yeah, it's beautiful. What else do you think has contributed to the success of the Bioscope?
I think just knowing that you're in this marathon effort. I think a lot of entertainment and a lot of business, sometimes you have to go in these sprints, but for us, we have to, week after week, month after month, make sure that the program is the best that it can be. You've got to worry about all the little things, but you've got to go at it like you would do a marathon. You've got to know when to push, know when to hold back, know when to push, save your energy, know when to give your energy. And then you look up and it's 15 years.
How do you decide what's going to show at the cinema?
It's a very hard one. I almost know what is not a Bioscope film than what is. I think we always get challenged as to what we could screen, but it's always smart or interesting or bold or fun or pushing the dial in some way, supporting local wherever possible. But we're also stand-up comedy, we're also private events. So it's this lovely combination of everything. I could choose just the best movies that I think, or just the best comics that I think are worth pushing.
You've welcomed some extraordinary guests to the space, like George Bezos, Oscar winner Frances McDormand, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Aside from these big names, what are some of the moments that have stood out for you over the 15 years? If you could just single out a few.
Sometimes,
it's like choosing your favorite child. Like, who's your favorite child?
Sometimes it's the small things, like you encounter someone in the lobby and they say they've got this idea. Like one day I just met this guy who said, I'm a data scientist, I work at Discovery, but I'm really passionate about space and the universe. And I think there should be a night where you kind of talk about the universe and space and science. And I was like, that sounds cool, let's do that. And just perhaps how I conducted myself in that little moment planted the seed. Then he stayed in touch with me. Next thing you know, you've created or helped create a show called The Universe on Stage. And it's every single screening we ever had of it or performance was sold out. They now sell out the Joburg Theatre.
They've been on this show.
They've been on the show? Okay. Smart, amazing guys, very talented. It's this piano music performance with this talk about the universe. And I was just so proud that I could help create a space for that.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest challenges you face as an independent cinema owner?
I think it's that marathon effort, as I said, where you've just got to keep yourself motivated and you've got to just manage your energy, manage the program as best you can. Things will always change. Movies will come and go. And when you've got an amazing film, how best to capitalize on it. When you don't have amazing films, how best to make a plan. So just being in that effort day in and day out and just, staying on top of it.
What celebrations have you got planned for the 15-year anniversary of the Bioscope?
It was tough. Like when you look back on 15 years of photos, you can't put it in one Instagram post. But we've had lots of little things. I thought that was quite nice to spread it out. We found managed to pull the top 25 ticket buyers of all time. And that was a small group. It was just 20 odd people. And it was so lovely to invite them over for like pizza and wine on a Sunday, and personally thank them. We've made some T-shirts and clothing. We're just keeping, doing lots of little things as opposed to any kind of big one thing.
There's also a fundraiser being planned for the staff.
Yeah, that felt like the right thing to do. They, when you always take note of what you have, one of our biggest strengths is the fact that pretty much all our staff have been with us for as long as I can remember. Like, I don't even know when they started. And this just felt like a good opportunity to add a little extra money for them. And so people have been very generous. When you buy your tickets, you can add this donation at the end. And people have really given, which is lovely.
Russell, in closing, what makes you excited for the future of cinema?
I just think when you see a beautiful, bold, unique movie come out, like probably the most recent one is a movie like Sinners.
Yes.
You know, where it is just so authentic and so bold and so unique. And then it does really well because it is good. It is just a good movie. Then that excites me because there will be more.
Thank you so much, Russell. Russell Grant from the Bioscope, celebrating 15 years of independent cinema. We will be right back. Brent Lindeque from The Good Things Guy, also on the way.
Mint Hotel 84 on Catherine offers affordable luxury in the heart of Sandton. Enjoy Instagram-worthy casual dining and resort-style amenities for when you need to let your hair down and simply relax. Luxury comes standard as all our rooms are Wi-Fi and Netflix ready. The Mint Collection suites are uniquely themed and exceptional, adventurous and exciting. Mint Hotels, it's meant to be.
As ek vir Appel in een woord kan opsom, legend. Hy's talentvol. Hy's lief vir diere. Alle diere. Hy is 'n jagter. Hy ry altyd die coolste bakkies. En by sy shows, ek sou wat wou gee om in sy skoene te staan. Hier sal jy boer.
So the missus told me to get my ducks in a row and start doing some work around the house. So I'm here at my local paint trade. Hey Tiny, how's the kids? I'm a busy man. Luckily, they have everything I need under one roof. I wasn't born yesterday. I know quality. That's why I choose their ProMac range. It's a quality paint because their paint spreads further. So get yourself over to Paint Trade Woods. They turn painting projects into child's play.
Ja, kyk, goeiemôre, good morning. We all know that insurance is one of those grudge purchases we make every month. That is until you need it. And when you need it, you better make sure you have the right cover. So here to give us a bit of advice, I'm joined by Francois van Dijk, Head of Operations for Insurance at IMAS Insurance Brokers, and their General Manager, Non-Life Insurance, Lisa Badenhorst. Goeiemôre, good morning, welcome to the show.
Goeiemôre. Goeiemôre, Lisa.
Baie dankie dat julle by ons aangesluit het. Can you tell us a bit more about IMAS and what your roles are at IMAS?
Ja, baie dankie. Dit is vir ons baie lekker om hier by julle te wees vanoggend. Eerste keer vir ons albei. So, dan sien baie uit.
Julle is baie welkom.
Ja, jy weet ek is hoof van operasies by IMAS, IMAS Insurance Brokers. Ja, dit is vir ons baie lekker om hier te wees en jy weet ons verteenwoordig 'n organisasie wat regtig passionate is oor wat ons doen. En ons 'n bietjie later in gesprek vir jou vertel 'n bietjie meer wat ons doen en wat ons aanbied.
Ja, Lisa?
Ja, en ek is Lisa Badenhorst. Ek is die algemene bestuurder by die korttermynversekeringsafdeling. My fokus is daarop om vir ons kliënte toegang te gee tot bekostigbare, omvattende en betroubare korttermynversekering wat by hulle behoeftes pas.
So, IMAS Engels, IMAS Afrikaans.
Ja.
Of is it IMAS across the board?
IMAS.
IMAS.
Okay.
IMAS Group en dan IMS Insurance Brokers.
So wat is dit presies wat julle doen? Wat behels julle bedrywighede?
Ja. IMS Insurance Brokers of IMS Group, IMS Finance is 'n handelskoöperasie. Wat ons uniek maak in die mark, niemand weet eintlik van koöperasies of wat ek kan nie. En ons waardeproposisie is, ons word besit deur ons lede en nie deur 'n groep aandeelhouers. So wat belangrik is dat ons kanaliseer al die koopkrag van ons lede, kry ons bymekaar en ons gaan na, ons het verteenwoordig omtrent so 40,000 lede, aktief betrokke by die organisasie. Wat ons dan uitgaan en dan met ons vennote gaan gesels en vir hulle sê dat ons bring koopkrag, kan julle asseblief vir ons lede bietjie iets spesiaals aanbied en so aan. So ook wat ons ook uniek maak is, jy weet ons werk omtrent saam met 600 werkgewergroepe, wat ons dan nou uitgaan en dan ons dienste vir hulle werknemers gaan bied. So ons vat letterlik die bankwese of die versekeringswese in ons gedeelte, vat ons na die mense toe op die werksplek. Ons maak dit vir hulle convenient, hulle kan regtig ons dienste gebruik maak, ons het verskeie kanale wat ons die dienste en goedes aanbied. En ja, dis maar wat ons uniek maak. Jy weet, ons is 'n koöperasie en aan die einde van die jaar deel die lede dan saam met ons in die prosperity en ons gee hulle dan terug na die community.
Dis ongelooflik. Lisa, wil jy iets byvoeg?
Nee, ek wil maar net sê dat ons is 'n makelary.
Ja.
En ons versekerings makelary is 'n volfiliaal van IMS Finansiële Dienste. En ja, ons bied vir ons kliënte risikobepalings. Ons kyk na hulle individuele risiko's. Ons probeer om vir hulle sakpas en bekostigbare en mededingende oplossings te gee vir hulle finansiële omgewings. En ja, ons is nie 'n motor of produkgedrewe maatskappy nie. Ons is adviesgedrewe. En ons hou daarvan om vir ons kliënte in diepte advies te gee op al die risiko's wat hulle miskien kan teeloop en veral in versekering. Versekering is 'n moeilike landskap en mense verstaan partykeer nie regtig versekering nie en dit is ons passie om ons lede en ons kliënte te help en te navigeer rondom hierdie moeilike versekeringslandskap.
Dit is vir my regtig net wonderlik dat julle so passievol is daaroor, sodat julle dit eintlik vir my as iemand op straat kan vergemaklik, sodat ek nie so hoef te dink daaroor nie, want julle doen die dinkwerk. Ja. Julle is 'n makelary, soos wat jy gesê het. Werk julle glad nie met die open mark nie, of is daar maniere hoe julle dit eintlik doen?
Ja, ons werk in die open mark, veral in ons omgewing, in die versekeringsomgewing, jy weet, lewer ons dienste aan die publiek, as ons so kan sê. Ek bedoel, almal het 'n versekeringsbehoefte, en soos jy gesê het, jy weet, dit is 'n grudge purchase, en ek dink, jy weet, in vandag se lewe, is daar nog steeds 'n rol vir 'n makelary. Dit bly, soos Elise sê, dit is 'n risikobepaling, jy weet, waar is die risiko, waar spandeer ek my geld, want elke versekerde is uniek. Jy weet, dit wat vir my werk, gaan nie noodwendig vir jou werk nie. En elkeen van ons het behoeftes, ons verskillende stadiums van ons lewens. Jy weet, en veral die jong mense, jy weet, ek dink die jong mense in vandag, ek dink onderskat die waarde van versekering wat daar is vir hulle. Hulle is totaal blootgestel en dan die dag wanneer daar iets traumaties in hulle lewe gebeur, kan dit jou finansiëel terugsit. Jy weet, as jy 'n voertuig moet verloor wat nie verseker is nie en jy moet nog daai paaiemente betaal vir die volgende 4 jaar. Om daai voertuig af te betaal, los dit jou in 'n redelike finansiële penarie wat jy het. So, ons is oop vir die oop mark, en ons sien uit daarna om mense by ons te verwelkom en te kom kyk, jy weet wat ons hulle bied.
Ja. Wat is van die spesifieke dienste wat julle wel verskaf?
Ons is gelukkig in die posisie om nie net gebonde te wees aan een versekeraar nie. Ons werk met verskeie versekeraars en dit gee vir ons die buigsaamheid dan om vir ons kliënte mededingende en volhoubare produkte kan aanbeveel wat by hulle spesifieke omstandigheid pas. So ons het verskeie produkte, nie net 'n korttermynversekering wat ons doen nie. en ons het motor uit die aard van die saak uit motor en huisversekering, alle risikoversekering. Ons het mediese produkte wat ons kan aanbeveel vir ons kliënte om hulle finansiële amer volledig te maak. Ons het ook lewensprodukte en Fransja kan dalk vir ons 'n bietjie meer vertel van die lewensprodukte.
Ja. Die lewensprodukte is maar jy weet die normale anniteite beleggingsgoeders vir die jong mense ook. Jong mense spaar ook nie. En is ook 'n geleentheid, jy weet, om in te kom en ons bietjie te gesels oor advies. Waar spaar ek? Jy weet, ons het baie dinamiese begrafnisskemas wat ons gee. En dan ook 'n nuwe ding waaroor ons baie trots is ons nuwe testamente en ons boedelbeplanning gedeelte. Jy weet, ons noem dit die Imas Live Vault. So dit is 'n seker online vault waar jy al jou persoonlike inligting kan gaan stoor. Dit is 'n platform wat jy kan gebruik. Jy stoor al jou inligting daarop, so die dag wanneer daar 'n krisis is in jou lewe en jou familie moet jou boedelbereder of iets, dan hardloop almal rond en almal soek dokumente. So ons is baie trots op die produk en jy weet, dit sal gaaf wees as die kykers miskien gaan kyk, jy weet, log in op ons webwerf. Gaan kyk na, dit is 'n diens wat ons gratis lewer vir ons lede. Dit kos jou niks nie, maar ek dink dit gee vir jou net gemoedsrus dat die dag wanneer so iets met jou gebeur en jou familie is dan totaal ingelig oor wat aangaan.
Ons sal al julle inligting op ons sosiale media bladsye sit sodat almal weet waar om IMAS in die hande te kry. Baie dankie. Ons is nou net hierna terug.
Nee, kyk, hier is dit lekker gesellig. Jannie Pitter is 'n oud rugbyspeler, motiverende spreker en sportsielkundige, wie spanne soos die Vodacom Bulls na 3 Super 14 titels en die Emirates Lions na 'n Curriebeeker in 2015 help lei het. In sy boeke Wen 'n Hart en The Sport Coach deel hy sy kennis oor die krag van sport en is nou vir ons 'n voorreg om jou hier te hê. Ons hoop jy gaan ons so 'n bietjie motiveer, Jannie. Baie welkom.
Dankie. Ja, lekker om hier te kuier.
Arnold, is jy gereed vir 'n baie motiverende gesprek?
Ek kyk net vir Jannie, dan's ek gemotiveerd. Dis so eenvoudig soos dit.
Ek stem heel hartig saam. Nou ek wil graag vir jou vra, wat het jou laat besluit om die rigting van sportsielkunde te betree en hoe het jou rugby dae of loopbaan jou gehelp met hierdie soort van toepassing?
Also, daar is sekere mense wat 'n groot invloed in mense lewe speel. En ek dink van die mense wat die belangrikste in jou lewe is 'n afrigter of 'n onderwyser.
Ja.
Want 'n afrigter en 'n onderwyser het so geweldige impak op jou selfbeeld, jou idee van wie jy is. Jy weet jou ou reis is eerste, maar ongelukkig baie ou reise is verdeel en gebreek. En nou 'n kind gryp vas aan 'n afrigter. En ek het vasgegryp aan afrigters en ek kan onthou ek was nie altyd die grootste nie. Ek's nou nog nie die grootste mens wat daar is nie. Maar baie mense het altyd gesê ek is te klein om rugby te speel. En ek het hakker gespeel. Dis nou baie jare gelede. En dis amper soos 'n vloek wat oor jou uitgespreek word. En daar was 'n afrigter en 'n dosent op universiteit wat my laat verander het oor my denke. Het gesê maar my grootte maak nie saak nie. Dit gaan oor my karakter en wie ek is en wat ek doen, wat werklik 'n verskil maak. En hy het iets uit my uit kon kry en ek was gefassineerd want ek het gesê as iemand dit met my kan doen, as iemand my kan laat anders glo oor myself, dan wil ek dit met ander mense doen. En dis hoekom ek ingegaan in die wêreld van sportsielkunde.
Ek neem aan as dit die geval is, sal daar 'n hele lot jong mense wees wat kyk na wat jy nou net gesê het, maar ek is self te klein volgens die wêreld. Wat is my eerste gedagtegang van hier af? Hoe verander Jannie Pitter, daai kind wat vanoggend nou na ons kyk, sy gedagtegang oor daai ding?
Is Arnold, Michael Jordan, wat het die mense oor hom gesê? Hy's te klein. Weet nie of mense moet daai storie gaan lees. Dit is amazing om regtig daai storie te van Michael Jordan wat eintlik op universiteit het die mense gesê jy sal dit nooit maak nie, jy's nie lank genoeg vir hierdie sport nie.
Ja.
En hy het 'n totale evolusie gebring in daai wêreld van basketbal. Nou alles gaan oor jou mindset. Wat is jou mindset? Nou twyfel is jou grootste vyand. Wat is die teenoorgestelde van twyfel? Is geloof. So wat is geloof? So geloof staan in Hebreërs 11 vers 1 staan is om seker te wees van wat jy hoop. En die vraag is wat hoop jy?
Ja.
So dit geloof is glad nie realisties nie. Verstaan, want jy kan dit nog nie sien nie.
Ja.
So wat hoop jy? Hoop jy jy's groot genoeg of hoop jy jy's te klein? Nou as jy hoop jy's groot genoeg, dan kan jy mos sê ek is groot genoeg. Ek is groot genoeg. Ek sê altyd vir mense 'n mindset is een van die belangrikste mindset wat 'n mens in jou mindset kan insit is, hoe vinnig is jy? As ek vra Elsa, hoe mooi is jy? Dan onmiddellik kom 'n onsekerheid. Hoe mooi is ek? As ek vir jou vra, Arnold, hoe goed is jy in werk? Jannie, wat moet ek nou sê? Dan, die antwoord is baie eenvoudig. Ek is mooi genoeg. Ek is goed genoeg. Ek is sterk genoeg. Ek is vinnig genoeg, want God het my genoeg gemaak. Hoe kan ons aan God se skepping twyfel? As ek nou in die wêreld myself wil goed. Ek meen, jy's goed genoeg. Dis 'n mindset, dis geloof.
Dis briljant.
Ja, kyk Jannie, ek wil net vir jou sê, ons het jou nie genooi om vir ons die moeilike vrae te vra. Ons is hier om vir jou die moeilike vrae te vra, maar ek wil graag uitkom by een van jou vele boeke waarin jy praat of verwys na 20 sleutels. Wat is jou gunsteling een vir atlete wat onder druk verkeer?
Fokus nooit op die uitslag nie. As jy op die uitslag fokus jy op iets wat jy geen beheer oor het nie. Fokus op karakter. Dit beteken karakter is hoe ek deelneem. En ek wil hierdie sê, baie ouers, veral op laerskool, fokus so op hulle kinders se prestasie. Hulle weet, ouers kom na my toe en sê hulle my kind is die Victor Ludor en hy het daai rekord gebreek en daai rekord. Nou sit hierdie kind daar en hy hoor van al hierdie prestasies. Maar sê nou maar die ouer kom en hy sê, Jannie, my seun is 'n aanhouer. Hy gee net nooit op nie. Of my kind, almal weet, as daar iets gedoen moet word, my kind doen dit. daai ding. Nou, voel die pressure wat verander, of die druk wat verander op daai kind. 'n Kind wat se prestasie genoem word, raak bang dat ek dit moet verloor. 'n Kind wat se karakter genoem word sterker, want dis al wat tel vir my ma of my pa, is my karakter, is nie die uitslag nie. So, as 'n mens jou aandag, jou fokus kan wegvat van uitslag, en kan fokus op die proses. My seun is 'n tennisspeler, en hy sal altyd vir my sê, pa, die oomblik as ek dink aan wen of verloor, dan dan maak ek die stupidste foute. Maar as ek fokus op my manier van speel, my ritme, my
die proses,
voorhand, 'n dien, waar wil ek my dien slaan, en nie die uitslag nie, dan verander alles in jou lewe. Atleet, hoe kan jy nou fokus op wat se uitslag jy gaan hê? Jy weet nie hoe vinnig die ander gaan hardloop nie. Fokus op hoe lekker jy wil hardloop, en hoe ritmies jy wil hardloop in jou asemhaling en jou hartklop. Ek meen, jy wat soveel kamerads gehardloop het. In plaas van om te kyk na die mense langs jou, geniet die oomblik wat daar is, in plaas van op die uitslag te fokus. So, dis een van my groot dinge is, hou op fokus op die uitslag, en fokus op die proses, jou karakter, geniet die lewe, in plaas van om gespanne te wees oor die lewe.
Oor die naweek het ons 'n massiewe deurbraak gehad vir SA Cricket met die wêreldkampioenskap, die toetswêreldkampioenskap. En daar is eintlik sedert 1992 al hierdie ding oor, ek wil nie eers die woord sê nie, maar ek sal dit moet sê, die C-woord, die choke-woord. Daai ding se rug is nou uiteindelik gebreek oor die naweek. Hoe kom mens by daai punt uit, want in hierdie geval is meer as 30 jaar wat hierdie ding saamry, saam met die SA span?
Sure.
Arnold, dis 'n great vraag, want hoeveel kinders kry 'n label? Ja. Ek meen, dis wat Suid-Afrika gehad het, is 'n label.
Ja.
Hoeveel kinders sit met die label ADHD? Nou dink gou mooi, hoe breek jy 'n label? 'n Kind wat 'n label het van aandag afleibaar, het klare verskoning om te misluk vir die res van sy lewe. Want die label is dan om my nek. Ek kan nie fokus nie. Ek gaan vir jou verduidelik. Maak 'n nuwe label, dis al. Maak net 'n nuwe label. So as jy nou in my kantoor kom sit en jy sê vir my jy's ADHD, ek doen dit al baie met jong kinders val. Dan sê ek, is jy aandag afleibaar, regtig? Kyk gou na my ring, hier op my vinger. Dan sê ek 10, 9. Nou kyk daai kind na my ring en hy fokus. Nou as ek kom by 1, dan sê ek, maar jy's nie aandag aflei. Jy kan fokus soos min ander. My magtie, ek dink dis strooi. Want ek wil die label breek.
Ja.
En dis amazing wanneer jy iets anders begin glo oor jouself. Hoe jy in daai prentjie ingaan. So, wat wil ons hê moet ons label wees van SA Cricket? Wat wil ons die label is? Ons kan in oomblikke van druk, dan kom ons deur. En daai ding, ons kan dit nou create. Ons kan dit nou begin spreek en ons kan dit nou begin sê. En as almal begin saamstem, raai wat, dan word ons daai prentjie.
Pragtig.
Ons bly maar by die cricket nie, ons gaan nie rugby toe beweeg nie.
Spesiaal nie as jy in Pretoria, laat ek nie daar.
Ons laat dit net daar. Maar ek dink dit is nogal 'n belangrike punt om by uit te kom, want ek dink suits is belangrik al op skoolvlak. En ek wil graag by julle ook hoor of julle nie dink dat daar deesdae te veel druk ook is op kinders in skole wat hierdie kwessie betref nie.
Dis alles gaan oor uitslag, Elsa. En veral op laerskool. Weet, op laerskool is die fokus van sportdeelname, karakterontwikkeling, vaardigheidsontwikkeling en respek. Ek weet, hoeveel van daai goed is die fokus nou regtig van laerskool? Dit gaan net oor prestasie. Die stelsel is besig om kinders se lewens te vernietig, want alles gaan oor prestasie. En op laerskool word jou prestasie bepaal wie jy is, nie jou karakter nie. En weet, elke ouer moet besluit, wat wil ek vir my kind hê? Maar as jy op laerskool net prestasie jaag, dan gaan jou kind waarskynlik een van die lyke wees langs die pad. Ja. Want daar is soveel kinderlyke, dis nou nie letterlik lyke, maar daar is soveel lyke wat langs hierdie pad lê van prestasie. Mense wat bitter is vir die res van hulle lewe, wat nooit weer 'n selfbeeld kan ontwikkel nie, want ek het my ouers teleurgestel. Ek meen, my grootste werk is waarskynlik met kinders van graad 10 en 11, of graad 9 en 10, min of meer, ek is nou standaard in my kop. Want 'n kind wat op laerskool wen omdat hy groter is as die ander kinders, hy is gebore in Januarie, Februarie of Maart, gaan lees hy boek van Malcolm Gladwell, is 'n skitterende boek van The Outliers, of hy wen omdat hy bietjie meer talent gekry het. Maar hy wen nie omdat hy harder gewerk het of sy karakter anders is nie. Hy wen omdat hy fisies sterker is en so aan. Nou daai verskil tussen kinders verdwyn op hoërskool. Almal word ewe groot, almal word ewe sterk. En dan gaan die meeste kinders wat op laerskool gewen het, ontwikkel 'n vrees vir mislukking op hoërskool. So daai laerskoolprestasie wat uitgelig word, is eintlik 'n dodelike ding.
Dis 'n ewel.
Dit is 'n ewel.
Ja.
In plaas van dat ons massa deelname, vaardigheidsontwikkeling, karakterontwikkeling, ding soos respek en dissipline en goed by kinders ontwikkel. As ons weer terug kan gaan soontoe, gaan baie meer kinders presteer as wat ons net so paartjies het wat presteer. En die les is lyke.
Ja. Sure. Dis eintlik skrikwekkend want soveel kinders se selfbeeld hang daarvan af en dit word daarop gesmeer.
Uitslag.
Ja, presies.
So uitslag en toe ek met die leeu's gewerk het, ons het hierdie lekker sê ding gehad. Sukses en mislukking word in ys geskryf. En môre sal die son weer skyn.
Dis mooi.
So eenvoudig soos dit.
Dis diep ook, ja.
Hy smelt, môre is dit niks. So vandag, ek weet sukses is net vir 'n oomblik. Karakter is vir altyd. So jou sukses van vandag beteken bokkerrol môre. Dis verby.
Pragtig. Janie, baie dankie dat jy kom kuier het.
Ja, en ek dink dis hoe mense seker maak dat jy konstant en aanhou groei.
Absoluut.
So baie dankie. Arnold, ek kan sien jy voel ook gemotiveerd.
Absoluut.
So, maar jy kan ingeskakel bly, want net hierna gesels ons met Good Things Guys. Ons fokus so 'n bietjie op die impak van goeie nuus. Bly ingeskakel daarvoor.
Vir meer as 22 jaar is jou finansiële vryheid Finbond Groep Beperk se prioriteit. Ons waarborg jou kapitaal en 'n beter rentekoers al is die eksterne omgewing stormagtig. Deur jou kuponkoers oor 5 jaar te kapitaliseer, kan jy kyk hoe jou gemiddelde jaarlikse rentekoers uit sy nate bars. Voel weer goed oor jou finansiële gesondheid met Finbond Groep Beperk. Tesenfees geld.
Is it secure?
Yeah, it's secure.
Are you sure?
Trust me, my guy.
Okay, let's go.
Don't let your investment slip through your fingers. Invest with a partner you can trust. Everest Wealth, the power of consistency.
So jy sê van daai rowwe jacks wat af die pad af toer. Wat tuis voel waar die hardste geluide wat jy kan hoor die wind en wille waters is. Af die pad af bied weerstand in enige weer. Met ons 4-trek tente, toebehore en boswaens maak ons enige omgewing mak. Besoek ons winkel vir al jou kampbenoodighede. En ons werkswinkel sal enige 4-trek regtrek vir die wildernis. As jy gaan kamp, kamp af die pad af.
What seems to be the problem? Where do I even start?
Here we go. It's all my fault again.
Well, whose fault is it then?
Am I supposed to do anything with you nagging in my ears the whole time?
Well, maybe someone doesn't have the right tools to do the job.
There's nothing wrong with my tools.
Right, banging away all weekend. He couldn't even get it up.
Have you considered getting a third party involved?
Sometimes you need to call the professionals. From kitchens, closets to bars and bathrooms. Don't try and do it yourself. Universal Kitchens and Granite. We'll help you get it up.
Oh, Jan, the power's out, but this has got me fully charged.
Papa, what are you doing? Those are solar panels.
Switching to solar can feel overwhelming. Voltex makes it simple, with a wide range of renewable energy solutions that will suit any household.
I got power!
I'll take your power!
Voltex, your electrical connection.
Welcome back. You're watching Goeiemôre, Good Morning. Brent Lindekeer is the South African entrepreneur, journalist, author, podcaster, and motivational speaker, mondvol, known as the founder of The Good Things Guy, which is a platform dedicated to sharing positive news. He's joining me in the studio now to talk about the impact of a good news story. Brent, this is a full circle moment, right? Because I did your first live TV interview on a breakfast show 14 years ago. Not 14 years, 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
2014.
2014, it's a full circle moment. It was that moment that I went viral. I was on all these news broadcast shows globally and locally. And I got to be interviewed by you. And it was... I posted on social media last night.
Yes.
It was my life changing in real time that we got to sit down and chat 11 years ago. And here we are again, 11 years later, and this little idea to share good news is about to turn 10 on the 1st of August.
I can't believe it. You walked in here and I was like, how is he so brown? It's winter. There's obviously a reason for the glowing brown tan. Tell me a bit more.
So last week I got to join a bunch of cyclists from both South Africa and the globe in Botswana at a game reserve called Mashutu. And we cycled for 3 days, over 40 kilometers every day in the middle of the game reserve between the lions and the elephants. And collectively we raised over 1.4 million rand for anti-poaching efforts in Botswana, which is on the border of South Africa. So it serves our country well as well.
How do you choose which causes you want to get involved in as a personal brand? Now, as Brent, we'll get to the stories of Good Things Guy a bit later. But how do you choose where you want to lend your voice?
It's so difficult because there's so many charities and organizations in South Africa that I believe are the backbone of our country. They are really doing the most. So I don't particularly choose one and not the other. I try give my voice to absolutely everybody and every organization in South Africa. And it's very funny, or maybe serendipitous, that you brought this up, because we're launching something in the next month or two that's really going to give a voice to every single charity in South Africa. It's a platform that's going to run alongside Good Things Guy. And that's all I'm going to say for now, is it's going to give a voice to every single charity in this country, which I'm very excited about.
So I want to chat a bit about the buzz in a newsroom. So the buzz in a newsroom, I know this from working here, from working at Jacaranda, when things are catastrophic, that's when people are thriving and people are just kind of feeding off that energy. But Good Things Guy is exactly the opposite. So what does a day look like in the office at Good Things Guy when there is a beautiful story that you want to share?
You know that is exactly the same thing. So that buzz, that feeling of we're telling good news and this is the beat of the country and we're changing the narrative, it's exactly the same. Every morning the team, we collectively share what stories we're going to share today on our WhatsApp editorial group. And sometimes there's fights. I want this one or I want that one. But we all manage to iron it out and sort of focus on what we're going to write about. And then we pan out the day. And as the day goes, sometimes there's breaking good news stories. So recently we had that massive seal that sort of everybody was talking about, this elephant seal that was all over Simonstown and Amarnis. And so we got to follow and track that story throughout the day, just like you would a bad news story. And we got to share really inspiring breaking news on how this elephant seal sort of got rescued and then made its way back into the sea. And then the next day was found in Simonstown again. So we get to follow those stories as well.
I think that's fantastic. You used the words changing the narrative. And changing the narrative is actually the title of one of the keynotes that you do. What is the backbone of that talk and how do you want to use that to change people's perspectives?
Yeah. So I, in the last 11 years, have gained this incredible skill that I understand first and foremost that there's more than one story to our country and more than one story to our communities. And sometimes we can get bogged down in the bad news that's real. It's there. I'm not telling you to hide away from it. We need to know what's going on around us in order to make it better. But we can sometimes get so weighed down by these stories, these negative stories, that we don't realize that there's another narrative out there. Yeah. And in the last 11 years, I have seen that in every situation, there's another the narrative. And sometimes, even when it's the hardest of the hard stories, we just need to wait maybe an hour, maybe 2, and then we get to tell the stories of the helpers, the heroes, and the people that are changing that narrative. So when I do these keynotes to corporates and schools and all over the country, and now the world, which is really cool, I get to travel the world to do these good news talks, I just try and remind people that there's more to us than one side of our story. And sometimes we create this one side when there is good news happening all around us. And there's proof. We get to tell up to 15 good news stories every day on the platform. So there is a lot of good. And it's also we get to have to sift through hundreds of stories in order to find those 15.
And what's also great for me is watching how your platform actually provides news for larger news platforms to use as well. And then they are kind of piggybacking off you. Did you ever think that's something that you created? I know there's a whole team. I'm very well aware of that, a very big team, because you've got news about that as well. But something that you created is now feeding into a positive outlook for the whole world to see.
No, and you're actually making me feel a little bit emotional because I never planned for this to be what it is. My life changed 11 years ago. That's old news. That's an old story. Yeah. A year later, I started this platform to share one good news story with South Africa every single day. There were other platforms at the time that were doing that already, but I'd gained this sort of social media growth. So there was a way for me to capitalize on that and use it in a way that was positive. I never thought first that it would be a business ever. It was just it was a hobby. It was this idea to share good news. But then a business that not only employs South Africans, which I think is incredible when unemployment is so rough in our country, but then to change the narrative of mainstream media is insane. When we write a story, and then so I've got this thing in the back end that I get emailed whenever we get mentioned. So if Good Things Guy today on this show, I'm going to get an email afterwards going, "You were talking about Good Things Guy," and I get those every single day from mainstream media news sites that they're using us as a source, which is just unreal to think that it's changing the national narrative.
So on the other side of that coin is obviously the naysayers and the people that are trolls and say, oh, well, you're just using these stories for like to cover up actually what's going wrong, you know? But actually, you always have such a great comeback. Obviously, I've followed you on social media for years. We've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
You always have a comeback for those people.
Yeah, so that news is happening. Like, you can find bad news everywhere.
You don't even have to look.
You don't. People are talking about it around the water coolers, around their dinner tables, or on the WhatsApp groups. When, I don't know, water shedding kicks in.
When there's no electricity, what are we going to talk about?
No, well, there we go. And so that news is all around us, and it's easily accessible. I don't hide away from that. I am South African. I live in this country. Yeah. I've had bad news stories happen to me. I got almost hijacked. Whatever. We can get into that, but we're not going to. I've lived. I know the reality of living here. There is another side to South Africa, and there is good news happening. And I'm not saying move away from the bad news. You require balance as a human being. We require balance. Otherwise, we just live in fear all the time.
We do. And we also require a little bit of positivity. And if there's a dedicated platform to go to for that, then that's actually a really great thing. Aside from this dedicated platform, here is now a book.
A book. I'm like you with the Balenciaga. Pulling it out, pulling it out.
A whole coffee table book. I love it. Tell me about this.
Right. So this is the second edition. The first edition was in 2023, the end of 2023. We decided to take all of our stories. So I think in 2023, we wrote 4,000 good news stories about South Africa, from South Africa to the world. And the team and I decided to take our favorite 100, which was so hard to choose because every story was our favorite. But we put it into a coffee table book that that became a bestseller, which is fantastic. And so we did it again the end of last year. And this guy is, or girl, or whatever we want to call it, the Only Good Things book is out there, and it's in all the exclusive books. And that's my gift today for you, so you get to keep that.
Thank you, Oprah.
Yeah, I am like Oprah.
You are like Oprah because you had lunch with her, so of course you're like Oprah.
I'll never not name drop that. Getting an email asking me to have lunch with Oprah, never not name drop. That was a whole vibe.
So, what is next now? You've got the book. there've been podcasts, you're on
Yeah.
TV, you are just in so many different media. Wow, where do you go from here?
That's an interesting question, because when we were younger, that was always something that we were asked. Where are you going to be in 5 years? Where are you going to be in 10 years? Where do you see your life? And for me, I feel so content with this beautiful gift that the universe has given me and given to South Africa. We're on billboards, we're on TV, we're all over the place. We reach up to 30 million South Africans on a monthly basis, which is just insane to think of that number. Where to from here? More hope. To reach the people in this country that might be hopeless, that might be fearful, that might not be proud of South Africa, that might need some inspiration, that might need a story to make them smile. That's all I want to do, is to keep doing what I do right now for the people that need it the most. And some days that's me. Some days I need a bit of a picker-upper of a good news story, and I know other South Africans are the same. So that's all I want to keep doing. And as long as people keep, reading and sharing and engaging with this good news, then the team and I will continue doing what we do.
I'm really proud of you. I think South Africa is really proud of you. We are very, very lucky to have you. Not like we don't know the social media handles already, but Brent, thank you for joining us on Goeiemôre, good morning. It's been lovely having you here.
Ek moet iets in Afrikaans sê. So baie dankie, dit was baie lekker.
Baie dankie.
Baie lekker om hier te wees.
Ons ken die social media handles, but good things, Guy, Brent, Linda Q. Thank you so much for joining us. Someone else who loves South Africa is Australian music superstar James Johnston. He's going to join us with Elsa just after the break.
Die Australiese country-sanger James Johnston was onlangs in Suid-Afrika vir die Bokkie-toekennings waar hy en Appel beste liedjie van die jaar vir hulle treffer Country is for Me gewen het. Ons het 'n bietjie met hom opgevang terwyl hy in die land was. Ons moedertaal mag dalk vanjaar haar eeufeesviering as amptelike landstaal hê. Maar die passie vir Afrikaans en Afrikaanse musiek in die besonder is nie net tot Suid-Afrika beperk nie. Die Australiese superster James Johnston mag dalk pop idols en X-Factor onder die knie hê met talle benoemings, musiektoekennings, platinum verkope. Maar deesdae is dit sy liefde vir Suid-Afrikaanse gehore wat hom veral inspireer. James, thank you so much for joining us on Goeiemôre, Good Morning this morning.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
From Cape Town to Sydney to Nashville, Tennessee, and now the capital of South Africa. It's not your first visit to South Africa, so there must be something about the country that attracts you.
Everyone told me it's an amazing place. But when I actually got to spend a bit of time here and I met Appel and he showed me the people and the culture, I really did fall in love with South Africa. And I think this is my third trip and certainly not my last trip. And I find that there's just a special connection between Australia and South Africa that, you know, I love it.
You were born in a very small town called Wingham in New South Wales. And you moved from farm to farm with your parents. But I want to ask you, how did your love and passion for music, and especially country music, start?
Mum and Dad started a tractor business. They sold tractors and they started on the farm that I was born on and they grew that business. But my whole upbringing was traveling around from farm to farm as Dad was fixing tractors and everything like that. So I think so much of that story was connected to country music. You know, as we would travel around the different farms, Dad would have his Land Cruiser, you know, which is nice to know, the Bucky. He'd travel around in the Bucky, and we would listen to country music. It was a lot of the classics, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson. It was classic country music, and we used to just spend hours in the car listening to that. And I think it just became part of me. I started singing at a very young age. I started singing at 4 years old.
Wow!
And the very first song that I ever sung was a song called Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks, which is not an appropriate song. It's about drinking your sorrows away. I was a 4-year-old with a big cowboy hat on singing country music. But I think I knew I always wanted to be a country singer from a very, very young age.
So it was country music from the very beginning. We need to talk about pop idols and X Factor and talent shows in particular. I mean, how would you describe that as a platform in terms of your road to success?
Any of those reality TV shows are a stepping stone. I was on Australian Idol. I came third on Australian Idol when I was 17. And I really wasn't ready for that moment, if I'm being completely honest. It was very quick, call it fame, quick fame. And then 6 months later, I was traveling around the country and really not playing to anyone. I didn't know what it meant to be a musician. I loved singing. I knew that part of it. But I wouldn't have called myself an artist. I wasn't a songwriter at that point. I think that takes a lot more layers to truly be an artist. You can be a singer, but to be an artist is a different thing. And it took years, for me to finally come to a point where I released my own music and I really backed that. There was almost over 10 years of playing shows, playing bars around the country. It was always music, but it took me a long time until I could have called myself an artist.
And then came all the breathtaking magic. I mean, your first major single release, Raised Like That, went straight to #1 on the Australian Country Town charts, peaked at #4 on the Australian charts, and was certified gold and platinum with tremendous sales, not even to mention the more than 40 million digital streams. How did that change your career?
It was pretty surreal, to be honest. My first song, and I'd been thinking about releasing music my whole life, but I wanted to get to a point, talk about being an artist, where I really felt like I could really give it everything I got. So that year, it was during COVID, and I wrote over 250 songs that year. And I was just looking for that piece of magic, that song that I was like, yes, that is the song. And I remember the day that I wrote Raised Like That. I knew it instantly. I was like, this is the song that I want to introduce myself to the world with. Not in a million years could I have ever expected the reaction that it got, and it was so quick. All of a sudden, I put it out on TikTok and it blew up, and all of a sudden, I went from a guy writing songs in his bedroom, that night I think I played it on national TV, and it was just, It was surreal. And the song took on a life of its own. And not only in Australia, that song for me has just been such an incredible path where it's taken me. I was in Nashville, Tennessee recently, and I was in a little bar, a honky-tonk line dancing bar, and someone recognized me in that bar and they said, "Hey, can you do Raise Like That?" And I said, "Yeah, but nobody's going to know it here." I started singing it, and what I didn't realize is that Raise Like That is one of the core line dancing songs across America. And as I started singing it, about 50 people hopped on the dance floor and started doing the dance, not just any dance, but the dance to Raise Like That. The whole bar knew it. And it has been just such a crazy ride where that song has taken me.
How would you describe South African audiences?
A little crazy, in all the right ways, and I love it. There is a passion here that Afrikaans, South African audiences have that is unlike anywhere else in the world, you know. And the way that I would describe it, their loyalty to artists that are from here, like artists like Apple.
Yes.
People love Apple, and they love his music, and they're singing every word with so much passion and so much pride. And I think that translates, you know, when you go and perform here. That's what I felt at the festival. It's what I felt when I performed at the Bockies. Everyone is proud to be a part of this culture, to be South African, and they sing every word with so much conviction. It's unlike anything else I've ever experienced around the world, and I've played shows all across the world, and there is just a magic here. That's why I keep coming back.
Bly gerus ingeskakel, want net hierna luister ons na James met Country Is For Me. Nou daar het jy dit, net hierna liewer, is dit tyd vir die tweede deel van hierdie onderhoud, so bly net waar jy is.
Dink aan jou inkomste as hierdie skapie se wol en hierdie skeermes. As jou huisverband, karskuld en na stygende lewenskoste afkom, bly daar nie veel oor nie. Jy kan nie 'n skaap verder as die vel skeer nie. Moenie dat skuld jou keel afsny nie. Kontak Skuldhulp vandag en ons sal namens jou met jou krediteure onderhandel om jou bates en waardigheid te beskerm. Skuldhulp, Afrikaans, regverdig, professioneel.
'n Goeie ontwerper verstaan wanneer minder meer is. Wanneer meer is en wanneer funksie vorme dikteer. Met meer as 30 jaar se ondervinding bied Goeiemôre Interiors ontwerpplanne wat jou style en persoonlikheid weerspieël. Goeiemôre Interiors bied allesomvattende ontwerpdienste vir kommersiële en residensiële projekte. Kontak Goeiemôre Interiors vandag om jou drome te bewaarheid.
We celebrate great achievements by extraordinary South Africans so that we can inspire our youth, and then we want to empower them to reach their full potential.
We are here to celebrate history.
He who has a big enough why can bear with anyhow.
They will leave behind a legacy.
We will never stop creating hope for our future generation.
Now is the time to build.
With a partner who is brave, committed,
and hungry to help you.
Who thinks boldly and differently, leads with understanding,
guided by a team of exceptional minds,
displays the highest technical excellence,
for whom flawless delivery is personal,
and acts with total independence.
Now is the time to build a lasting relationship with Bravura.
To excel, to conquer that new plateau.
To live, innovate, and succeed.
Die ideale man is baie soos die perfekte stoel. Sterk, betroubaar, hard waar hy moet wees en sag op al die regte plekke. Enkanda vervaardig kwaliteit handgemaakte meubels plaaslik. Stylvol, modern en trots Suid-Afrikaans. Kom tuis met Enkanda.
Investing in anything worthwhile takes dedication. It takes patience. It takes discipline. And it takes time. At Everest Wealth, we understand that there are things you would rather spend your time doing. Everest Wealth. While you do life, we take care of business.
Ons kuier nou verder saam met James Johnston.
Yeah!
Dis my vellies op die grondpad. Can you repeat that?
This is not going to end well. Does my fellas alle krompat? Apple, okay. This is a line from my song, as you know.
Yes.
Apple has tried to teach me that so many times, and for some reason, I just can't get it.
How did that happen? I mean, how did you meet Apple, and how did the two of you decide to work together?
My music is so connected to the people. I knew that if I'm coming to South Africa, I don't want to just show up and just perform my songs and then leave. I feel like there's a degree of taking if you do that. I wanted to meet people, I wanted to travel, I wanted to feel what it means to be South African. You know, what are South African people proud of? So I came here and someone said, you need to meet this guy, Apple. Apple, he's a superstar here, but you guys will just get along. And we did. We connected instantly from the first moment. We just became like best friends.
He's such a nice guy.
He is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. We said, let's just write a song. And about an hour and a half later, we came out with Country Is For Me. And, it was just so honest. Through the conversations that we'd had, we said we're so similar in so many ways. The culture of Australian culture and South African, Afrikaans culture, it's so similar. I said, let's write a song that just celebrates that, celebrates the things that unite us, not the things that divide us.
Mm-hmm.
And it came so easily. The song really almost wrote itself. It was not a challenging thing. We just, an hour and a half later, we walked up and we said, hey, listen to this, and we played it. And everyone in the room just got excited. And we knew that we'd kind of captured a little bit of magic right there.
And we are still not done with the song because we need to talk about the Bokkie Toekenning or the Bokkie Award.
When I found out that Country Is For Me was up for the award, it was one of the songs that was nominated. You didn't have to ask me twice. I called up my manager and I said, I want to go back to South Africa. I've just honestly been looking for an excuse to come back since I left. To actually come back and go into a room and have, a couple thousand people there and everyone singing it with me, it was incredible. It was really powerful. And then to not only have that experience, but then to take out the award for Song of the Year was so special. And Apple wasn't there on the night, but last night I got to sit around with him and we had some great Afrikaans food and a couple of brandy and cokes and we just celebrated, and it felt so nice just to be back here. And I've just felt so much love since I've been back in South Africa.
Well, congratulations, and you do love South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Afrikaans as well, so I need to ask you to also say Goeiemôre, good morning.
Goeiemôre, good morning.
There you go.
Is that right?
There you go.
Okay,
You have
very
it.
good.
You have it.
I'm working on it.
Well, James, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and please keep on visiting South Africa and making South African music as well.
Yeah.
And you are also going to perform a song for us. So what will you be performing?
Well, I feel it's only fitting to play Country Is For Me, so let's do it. From Cape Town to Sydney to Nashville, Tennessee, I'm proud to say that country is for me. Hey, it's the campfire stories, it's the hometown glory. Yeah, it's like Granddad told me, just don't forget where you come from. Come on, it's my valleys on the dirt road. It's the tires of my old truck. Yeah, it's looking out at the land that I love. That's when I know that I belong. Yeah, I love this life, it's all I need. So God bless this land, my friends and family. From Cape Town to Sydney to Nashville, Tennessee, I'm proud to say that country is for me. Hey! Yeah, I'm proud to say that country is for me. It's the back road sunsets, a little more space, a little less stress. Yeah, it's kicking back with a cold beer and my friends. That's when I know that I belong. Yeah, I love this life, it's all I need. So God bless this land, my friends and family. From Cape Town to Sydney to Nashville, Tennessee, I'm proud to say that country is for me. Hey! Oh, 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 hey! Oh, oh,
it don't matter where you're from. You're just like us, little hometown country proud. Raise them on up. Damn, I love this life, it's all I need. So God bless this land, my friends and family. From Cape Town to Sydney, to Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, I'm proud to say that country is for me. I love this life, it's all I need. So God bless this land, my friends and family. From Cape Town to Sydney, to Nashville, Tennessee. I'm proud to say that country is for me. Hey! Oh, 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 from Cape Town to Sydney to Nashville, Tennessee. Cause it's sick of living, country is for me. Buy a donkey, yellow laka. I love you, South Africa.
En ons sê dieselfde. Baie dankie, julle is lekker. Ons sien julle môreoggend 6:00 regstreeks weer eens net hier op Via vir Goeiemôre, Good Morning.
Do you want to make an impactful change?
Empower and uplift your community to better the lives of the less fortunate.
Share your ideas and build healthy friendships
in a community of like-minded individuals.
My favorite thing about Roundtable is making a difference in others' lives.
Actually building something for a community.
The friendships that you've made, it will last you a lifetime.
Join Roundtable Southern Africa at roundtable.co.za and make your impact today.
ACDC Express. Everything electrical.